God damn it, I was trying to do one take. Here we go. Only a few minutes elapsed, or not even a few, maybe. But
radical extremist Christian white men also used to set standards for YouTube and big tech. The Southern Poverty Law Center, of course, was always very anti-Christian and very sympathetic to the Islamic cause, and of course, unbelievably biased. So, they were found to have been funding hate groups. Now remember, when this came out, the SPLC, and specifically their CEO, they defended against it. Remember what they told you? Look, this is fake news. This is not us funding.
By the way, what he's saying right now is true, and I remember it.
Hate groups, it's very normal for investigative journalists to be using and or paying informants. That's all it is. Spoiler, it's not, but watch.
Although we don't know all the details, the focus appears to be on the SPLC's prior use of paid confidential informants to gather credible intelligence.
Steven Crowder is doing the dumbass news shit too, except at least he's good at it. But he still is doing it. But he's very consistent about giving his views on things, and I'm going to be absolutely floored if I don't get an opinion from him about this in this video, like a clear political viewpoint that's articulated by him at some point in the video. So, we have that to look forward to, I believe. Unless he's very much not the Crowder he once was.
Extremely violent groups. This use of informants was necessary because we are no stranger to threats of violence.
Okay, so basically, this comes out, story, you guys are paying, you guys are actually the ones funneling money to these hate groups. They go, no, we were paying informants who were presenting as part of hate groups so that we could get information. Okay. Well, now we have the first arrest of a person connected in this case, and they weren't just using informants. So, it's bad. Let me give you some key facts here. Check the references, link in the description. So, key fact 1. Their former CFO, Heidi Byrick, has been arrested, longtime head of SPLC's hate group tracking arm intelligence projects. She oversaw donor money funneled to the Imperial Wizard of the KKK, hell of an informant. Yeah. National Alliance, the Nazi, National Socialist Party of America, Sadistic Souls Motorcycle Club. Sadistic Souls Motorcycle Club. Okay. Because Satan's little helper was taken. So keeping in mind, by the way, there's so much more, but keeping in mind that the Southern Poverty Law Center money was being used to keep racism alive so they could point to it as a threat, here's Heidi.
White supremacy is an indigenous ideology in the United States.
Pause.
And we don't really...
This is childish, and you will say they was being used to keep racism alive so they could point to it as a threat. Here's Heidi.
White supremacy is an indigenous ideology in the United States.
Pause.
And we don't really...
This is childish, and you will say that I love that she has put zero effort into any other facets of her appearance, but thinks that purchasing lip fillers will save her.
Well, the lip fillers aren't for appearance; they're for helping the food stay in.
Oh, so she can swallow like an anaconda and
Yeah,
not even
get
chew.
more in. Yeah.
All right, play.
They have, a lot of resources put at that particular problem, white supremacist domestic terrorism. This has been the consequence of Trump's actions. Donald Trump doesn't care about hate crimes. He's made that very clear. These crazy ideas used to be stuck at the fringes, and now, in the era of Trump, they have been mainstreamed. We came up with this
Because you
idea
paid for
that we
them.
should sue these folks in civil court to bankrupt them. Our hope is that by taking their money away, they can't function anymore. White supremacists commit far more acts of domestic terrorism in the United States than radical Islamists.
So the Klan, which you see a picture of here,
From your phone.
is what most of us
From her
think
family
about as the
reunion.
iconic American hate group. Reminds us once again that hate is alive and well in parts of the society.
These
What is it,
groups
petty
have
cash?
seen their
Isn't that
numbers
HOA
increase,
president?
particularly since Donald Trump started campaigning. 36 right-wing foundations who were spending millions and millions of dollars a year to prop up this essentially artificial
But enough about
network,
you.
Right? These people didn't really have grassroots support. Never in the history of
Over
humankind
4
has there
billion,
been a
to be clear. I'll
technology
get to it.
that allowed hatred
to proliferate.
Millions on racism,
like it
zero
does
on
today. So
mascara.
we've got a hate problem larger than we've ever had. We launched a program to try to get the foundation world to stop giving money to hate groups. You know, most people don't
so they should
realize
stop
how
funding
much
you.
domestic terrorism there is out there coming from white supremacists and anti-government crazies like the McVeighs of the world. The issue of hate crimes is not taken seriously enough in this country.
Well, it certainly won't be taken seriously now, thanks to you. But you were about to say something, Noodles?
She also moonlights as a video game.
Change just isn't enough. If you want to truly level
What? Anyway, to give these guys credit, they are at least trying to do the thing that they say they are, which is comedy. So far, this video, they've been very bad at it. But they are trying. So they're doing, in that regard, they're doing way better than Hassan and Steven, merely by trying to do the thing that they say they do.
you're going to need mine proprietary pump poppers.
Hey, Oz, what's proprietary about that?
You just got to trust me.
I don't, though, and they clearly shouldn't. That's why here at Foundation, we really only sell 2 supplements that you can consume. Foundation Daily, a daily multivitamin supplement. Every single ingredient listed, and its clinically active dose, and you can go check out the lab certificates available upon request on the website. And Foundation Creatine. We sell Creavitalis, a patented German 99.9% pure form of creatine, the most studied kind with no fillers or additional bulk wrap. Everything here is clinically proven to make your life better, unlike proprietary, what you call
Pump poppers.
Ah, what's in it?
I have a patent.
I bet it's crap. Go to foundationdaily.com. Get everything you need. Nothing you don't. Proven science, zero secrets. That's your foundation. Visit foundationdaily.com today. Subscribe, save 40% off for life. Key fact number 2, so from 2007 to 2023, over 4 million of the tax-exempt donations given to the SPLC were funneled to hate groups for hosting and promoting hate rallies, for actually buying robes, hoods, and crosses to burn for the KKK.
Hey, that's not nothing. Those robes are expensive. They have to get them custom made.
They're bullet branch robes. Worn by no less than 4 grand wizards. Bullet branch robes. Only the best. It's a matter of fact, they're the best robes. Burning crosses. My perfect clan robe. Now,
Crosses don't burn them themselves, Steven.
and here's the other thing. So all this money, so much money, just informants, over $4 million. You're buying robes. You're buying silk for the informants. Well, key fact 3, that broad was in a romantic relationship with one of the quote-unquote informants. So to give an example, the informant was paid $1.2 million in an instance to steal hate group docs, like documents for the SPLC, Southern Poverty Law Center. $1.2 million to get some documents, and then that broad shared a bank account with the informant, almost like they weren't concerned about a paper trail. $140,000 of the $1.2 million that was used, it was used to pay for the couple's personal expenses. So many Golden Corral receipts, I don't know.
You can't write all
$140,000.
They're personal robes.
As an SPLC, you got the hate crime. Here, let me buy you some more of the robes and the crosses to burn.
Yeah.
Don't worry, $140,000 of it could just be for, our 5-course meals. We'll toss some lip filler in there. That white supremacy is the greatest threat. This is what the left has.
crazy.
Oh my God, $140,000 of the $1.2 million paid to this guy. Over $4 million, but just $1.2 million to one guy who she was banging
And no Ozempic.
for their personal expenses. Personal expenses. Some of which I should know was earmarked for their upcoming nuptials, a rare occurrence when both bride and groom wear white veils. They met on OKKK Cupid.
I do not like blacks.
That's right. Whoa! He's a perfect man.
Totally kills every single day.
In sickness and in health, in jeans and in robes.
That's right.
So far.
Till burning cross death do we part.
Tinder? That's what I call them coloreds. When I'm done with it.
Doesn't matter if you can see. It only matters if his horse can see.
Guess I laughed at one.
What's next? Gambling?
I don't even remember how funny it was.
Racist only.
So here's the thing. There is. But I used to say yeah, you'll get some occasional radicals like hard racism on the right, but you get all of the quote unquote soft racism on the left, the soft bigotry of low expectations. We've talked about that, but now you see it's pretty damn clear. The soft racism, right? The DEI, the affirmative action that exists on the left. And so does the hard racism because they fund it. So pretty much all of the racism is coming from the left, outside of humor. All right, I think it's done now. I think we know.
Well, but we need people to go to jail for this. This is one of those things. Nobody's going to jail for stuff. I'm sorry. Have you seen the prosecutions right here?
Yeah.
People
She's been arrested.
That's fantastic. So hopefully we'll see that go. By the way, really quickly, just kind of as a tag onto this, there's a CNN kind of is it a freeze frame or like the
10-second clip.
Oh, 10-second clip. I just want you to see this. We'll focus on the Chiron. Focus on the Chiron.
We still don't know here, but obviously the raw imagery
Black
of
woman
the black person
found hanging from tree in
the
Mississippi.
American South
Said something
is
so
a very
ridiculous that I'm letting it
painful
play.
history. Now,
Oh, that's terrible, right? Of course. Until you get to the part where the black boyfriend was arrested that they left out of the report. Oh, it's like CNN's
A black boyfriend hung his black girlfriend from a tree?
CNN's like, the images of a black woman hanging from a tree evokes, and I'm like,
Well, yeah.
are you being paid to like prop up the white supremacy thing? Can we talk to this girl and see if she was paying CNN people as well to leave stuff out of stories?
So they're just clarifying. They said the only arrest is the black boyfriend. He hasn't been accused or convicted yet.
Oh, okay.
Been arrested?
Yes, he's been arrested.
That's
He's
a
been arrested.
clarification is helpful.
Okay. So it seems like the boyfriend might have done it. We don't know. Well, either way, look. It's horrible. I'm assuming she didn't live.
I don't
have the
think
information.
so,
I
but
thought you were going to tell me like black woman hanging from a tree, and then they just show the video, and she's like, "Wee!" doing microphone. It's still sad.
Tire swing.
Yeah, it's still a buzzkill.
The Forrest Gump scene.
Yeah.
Practicing for the Cirque du Soleil.
Yeah, she's practicing for like American Ninja Warrior. Oh, you're still here? And you're still watching this on YouTube? You've probably noticed something is missing by now.
Right. Okay. Outside of comedy, fuck you, you fucking N-word. How about that? And no, that's not a joke. And guess what? I am right wing. Yeah. I'm a center-right person. I'm a radical centrist. That's what I do. I'm the leader of a party, a political party in America called the Democratic Republican Party. What we do is we have the right opinions on things. Usually the right opinion is something like the far left times the far right. Something neither one of them is smart enough to think of, but both of them agree to. That's usually what it is. Oh yeah, and I have them all written down. Yeah, I figured them out. Anyway, so, but you and your stupid fucking pathetic claim that the racism is all. You didn't even say mostly. You didn't even say primarily. You said that all or nearly all of racism in general in our society comes from the left. You might have even meant globally, but you at least meant in our society. So, let's analyze whether racism is a right-wing or left-wing thing. Okay? The essence of racism is noticing phenotypic differences. I would say the essence of noticing things is more liberal than conservative. Therefore, I would place it as a right-wing view. Therefore, he's completely and utterly full of shit. And it's so horrible that my first judgment day of judging Steven Crowder in the great year of our Lord, 2026 of all fucking years, this cursed year, has to be me destroying him in that way. But I suppose it's a consequence of his free will to be a piece of shit, his choice to do that, and my free will choice to be a correlating piece of shit that didn't kick his ass into a better form years and years ago. So there's that. I can take responsibility for my part, naturally. And we're done with Crowder. He said a belief, and I'm glad I let it play after that too, because he demonstrated just laughably disgusting levels of racism. So it's just it's really sad. It's very unfortunate that he's descended to that level, or perhaps that he was always there, but I don't really believe that he was always there. I think he's just a weak mind that fell into the flow of other people's thinking around him, and is just not a super good person, it turns out. That sucks. Of course, he has a lot more power to redeem himself than most people do, and he's nothing like as bad as Steven, but it's super cringe. It's super cringe. It's really, really bad. And he needs help. He needs help from a person like me. And he needs it 5 years ago, maybe 10 years ago. I don't know. We could have helped each other a lot. It's a sad thing when people don't seize their opportunities. But there are big silver linings as well. You know a lot more when you get older. You're just capable of more usually. And that's a very valuable thing. We're going to move on to Sitch and Adam. That was really grim with Steven. My daddy is the best. the best there ever was. My daddy is the best, and I love him just because. Months ago was their last video upload. These assholes basically only do live streams. You gotta be kidding me. $16K streamed with.
Do your hangout too loud, because sometimes it
what?
it like
You want me to go?
out.
Oh, peek the mic. Just
No, it peaks out and Zoom just cuts it out completely. You don't even
that's
hear
sad.
it. Yeah.
Well, hey now, everybody. Hope you're doing well.
Hey now,
Happy
bitch.
Sunday.
What's up, everybody?
Hey
now.
Potatoes low.
What's up,
Tab,
Adam?
joined by everyone's favorite, the man who saw the new Spider-Man movie 20 times in a row on IMAX because he loved it so much.
Oh yeah, it's incredible. so life changing.
There's a lot of stuff to talk about today. First, we're gonna watch. This interview is not getting enough traction. Okay, we're gonna watch a couple little juicy bits of this. Okay, this is the co-chair of the DSA being interviewed by the New Yorker. She says things that are like, at first it's kind of funny, and then it's kind of not funny and just dark. Okay, it's the trajectory of the conversation. So that's first. Then obviously we have to talk about there's all this push about the DSA candidates that are gaining all this traction in the media, and even worse, the mainstream media is talking so much about Hassan Piker.
Yeah, but every time they introduce him as the guy who said America deserved 9/11. So that's his introduction to the American people. That's not so great, right?
Well, we'll see. We'll see. Well, because I'm curious to hear your take about it, because I don't know, is this going to be like a Streisand effect, right? Where the more they talk about him, the more it's going to make it more popular situation? Or is everyone going to realize he's a toxic piece of crap and they shouldn't interact with him at all?
Is there going to be a Mythbusters episode on how Hassan didn't shock his dog, but really did? That's what I want to know.
Where's Adam Savage? He's still right. I think it's pretty well. Where's Adam Savage? We need Adam Savage.
He's got a YouTube channel. He still does this stuff, so he could do it. That would be great.
Did Hassan Piker shock his dog? They're going to get
the definitive answer.
Oh my God. They're going to get what was the woman's name? They're going to get the woman, and she'll like, they're gonna put her in like the little dog collar, right? How about weird, vaguely sexual overtone and be like, we're gonna have Corey here as our stand-in for the dog to see if she was really shocked by Hassan.
How about I'll take Chris Hansen with the chat log. Sit down here, Hassan. I have some chat logs here of you discussing you shocking your dog with your friend.
There you go.
Laughing about how you duped everyone.
Sitch and Adam are objectively not that good at humor, but they're doing way better at it in this video than like just night and day compared to Steven Crowder and his gang in the other video that we just watched. That was fucking insane how incompetent. Like, that was the opposite of funny. It ranged from not funny at all to just completely gross, but as well as being unfunny, but like but these guys are actually telling legitimate jokes, and they have like actual like comedic flow. You can tell they don't hate their lives as much. That's rough, man.
They should do that for, because this is the Chris Hansen movie's coming out soon.
Oh yeah.
That should be like the trailer for that. Yeah.
Believe. Believe.
Okay. Yes. All right. So
So we're going to talk about that. There's also this very interesting CNN. I don't know if you ever watched Smirconish. I'm not a big Smirconish fan, but he is on CNN. He has a 10-minute segment where all he does is talk about how dangerous the DSA is and how it's going to be like the left-wing Tea Party and just take over the Democrats. And I was like, wow, this is on CNN. This is interesting.
CNN waking up. Wow.
I know. Look at this. Then, of course, we have to talk about the basketball situation.
Right.
Multiple players have come out. Well, they've trollingly come out as women so that they can get into the WNBA, which is kind of genius, kind of hilarious, kind of genius. And I do wonder if it's a 10D chess level political operation.
Right.
So we'll talk about that. Then one of our favorite commentators, okay, and I know this is one of Chad's favorite, Rihanna Greyjoy, right? The Iron
Price is back.
Right? Yes, we miss her in our hearts
this week. It looks like she actually paid the Iron Price this week, though.
She did. We miss her in our hearts. Okay, we no longer get her hilarious debates with Robbie Suave, but instead we now have. She was on Piers Morgan, and it is beautiful. Oh my God, she is a complete meltdown. I've never seen anything like. She's a total meltdown about the conversation. Oh my God.
Yeah, she does.
Situation Adam called them.
Also, of course, we got to talk about Burrito Gate.
That's fucking hilarious.
Should burritos cost $20, Adam? Or should you just seen anything like? She's a total meltdown about the conversation. Oh my God.
Yeah, she does.
Yes. Also, of course, we got to talk about Burrito Gate. Should burritos cost $20, Adam? Or should you just get a dang job?
Obviously,
right, yeah. I guess it's $10 for the private taxi, right? And $10 for the burrito.
There you go. And another $5 for the tip for the private taxi.
Oh my God.
Then also, maybe we'll watch some of it. It is very frustrating to watch. I don't know if maybe we'll just talk about it. John Fetterman was on Jon Stewart, okay?
Mm-hmm.
And I appreciate I appreciate some of the things that Fetterman is saying and doing. I appreciate the fact that Xehanort is trying to be more moderate or centrist, or he's trying to take things. He's saying, "I want to take things issue by issue," which is the correct. What do you want your politicians to do? Right? That would be the ideal thing for every politician, not to just be a partisan, as you will. So I appreciate that, but I don't appreciate that he goes on Jon Stewart and he's just not very good at communicating a lot of positions. And maybe this is because of the brain injury he suffered, but he goes on Jon Stewart and he's like just kind of floundering, I think, when it comes to pushing back against the socialists and pushing back Hassan. And Jon Stewart's out here, he's like doing all this defense for Hassan Piker and the DSA. It's crazy.
Wow. Yeah, Jon Stewart's boomering out.
Oh God, it's so gross. And yeah, after he gave that total BJ to Mamdani, right? He asked Mamdani 4 times in a row, why are you a socialist? Mamdani dodges every time, and Stewart lets him off. And then with Fetterman, he's like really pushing the guy. And then what? It's just crazy. And then the last thing, this debate was incredible. Okay, there was a debate that was on trigonometry that Konstantin Kisin moderated, and he did a fantastic job, by the way, moderating this conversation. And he has these 2 women on, and one is a person who used to work essentially getting children on the pathway to transitioning.
Right,
okay?
Yes. So
and the other woman
ruined thousands of lives.
Right. And the other woman is very against this. And the woman who's very against this, she asked her some of these amazing questions, and I'm like, holy shit, these are the...
Okay, I'm probably going to keep watching the rest of this whole video, but at some point, motherfuckers don't have time right now, because Adam just said something, an opinion that I technically haven't judged for him yet. And I need to go if I can, because I need to transition. But I waited for the appropriate time. I knew they would be a really, really kiss. They were even better, way better than Crowder even. Which is why I want to watch the rest of the video now, because their content is so fucking great. everyone go subscribe to Sitch and Adam and check the bell icon to get the notifications from them and all that good stuff. Watch all their live streams, donate, super chat, all the good things, subscribe to whatever kind of memberships they have, make them feel loved and appreciated, and support them inside their community, because they fucking earned it, bro. Their content is amazing and I love it. And it gave me what I needed really, really fast also. It just so happens to be the case, which was Adam saying that transing a bunch of people has effectively ruined those people's lives. And I happen to think that is true. But the salient question to ask is whether the belief itself is a right wing or left wing. Being anti-trans, believing that believing at a minimum that with the current science it's illogical to be trans or try to be trans in some physical way. That is either a more left-wing or more right-wing view. It's either a more conservative left-wing or more right or more liberal right-wing point of view. So, what is the nature of being anti-trans? Well, all men are trans because originally there was only women, and then eventually there was men too. So also all men start as an XX and then they gain an XY in the process of fertilization. So it strikes me as conservative. It strikes me as, no, you can't be who and what you want to be. I think that's a fair assessment. So that makes it a left wing, aka conservative point of view. And also, it's one of my points of view. All right, that was a significantly better runtime than the first time. I think we're going to probably continue to get better and better at this, although I have no compunction about making long videos when necessary, as I proved with Steven's stupid fucking ass that took literally forever to make a point. In any case, I love you, all of you, and peace be with you. God bless you. Here we fucking go, ladies and gentlemen. Today is... What is today? It's 7:44 a.m. on Friday, August the 14th of the year of our Lord, 2026. chip. Good job, Bjorny. Oh, great job eating your chip, Bjorny. Does Bjorn like the chip? Yeah. Good job, Bjorny. All right. Let's see. What are we going to get up to today, ladies and gentlemen? Judgment Day, Friday the 14th of August, 2026. What's on the menu, boys? We got any fresh meat? Well, as a matter of fact, we've got on the left Hassan, and we're gonna have on the right that's a target-rich environment. We'll do Crowder. And then for we'll do Shapiro. Yeah. So we'll do Hassan on the left, Shapiro on the right. And for the middle, Okay, hold on.
Jerry Beer's gone.
Okay, Hassan on the left. Yeah, we'll do Hassan on the left. Man, you can't really do Shapiro anymore. We might have to do Crowder. Hassan on the left, Crowder on the right, and we'll do Sitch and Adam in the middle as the centrist faction. Judgment Day, motherfuckers. Here we go.
New details emerging from a Washington Post report about the attempted assassination plot that was uncovered by Israeli intelligence when Donald Trump was in Ankara for the summit. Donald Trump was in Ankara for a NATO summit, and there was a little switcheroo that took place. Change of flight plans. There was a security concern. Now, of course, during this summit, there was also conversations taking shape with Iran. And what's interesting, of course, is those conversations went for the new details emerging from a Washington Post report about the attempted assassination plot that was uncovered by Israeli intelligence when Donald Trump was in Ankara for the summit. Donald Trump was in Ankara for a NATO summit, and there was a little switcheroo that took place. Change of flight plans. There was a security concern. Now, of course, during this summit, there was also conversations taking shape with Iran. And what's interesting, of course, is those conversations went nowhere. Part of the speculation right now is that Israel is manipulating Donald Trump by way of consistently weaponizing, at best, faulty intelligence that signals to Trump that his life is in imminent danger in the hands of the Iranian assassins. This is actually something that we should be paying a little bit more attention to, I think, because a lot of conversations have been had about Lindsey Graham. about Benjamin Netanyahu's personal influence over Donald Trump. But some of those conversations have not really reckoned with how much this personal animus comes from the fact that Donald Trump has consistently assumed that Iran wants to assassinate him. That's what's really interesting about this. I think that has to be a personal motivation of Donald Trump a little bit. Aside from the victory lap that he thought he would take in the aftermath of the successful and expedient Venezuela operation and how he would carry over that swift victory into Iran, I think there is also another factor to consider, which is the idea that since the Qasem Soleimani assassination and Trump won, Donald Trump has always been fearful of an Iranian assassination attempt. And I suspect that Israel is weaponizing that fear, which is not invalid, right? It's not entirely invalid, not entirely an unfounded fear. But I do think that Israeli intelligence is weaponizing that fear in an effort to drive a wedge between Trump and any possible successful negotiation. This is yet another instance.
With President Trump on board, that sounds incredibly alarming. The intel came from multiple sources, including the NSA, the CIA, and Turkish intelligence. But U.S. officials say they investigated.
Hassan is doing the same fucking shit that Steven does. That pisses me the fuck off. And what it is specifically is that they are what they are is political opinion commentators. But because they're lazily phoning in their fucking jobs that they're not even good at in the first place. More so Hassan than Steven for not being good at it in the first place, but they're both lazily as shit fucking phoning it in. Or in Hassan's case, maybe that's something like the best he can do. But they're essentially, but even in the case of Hassan, it's pathetic because what they're doing is they're so lazy that they're using telling the news to get out of giving their opinions on things. They're just saying stuff that happened because they're either too lazy or too cowardly to give their opinion instead, or rather to give their opinion frequently enough. It's not their job to tell us what's happening. We've got a bunch of people doing that already, and it's not their lane. We need more people doing straight news. But their brand is as a political commentator, as an opinion person, as a thought leader, as disgusting as that is. But are they leading? No. They're trying to get out of leading by telling you some freaking news that happened instead. Pieces of shit.
And ultimately did not detect any such Iranian team on the ground. By that point, however, both Air Force One and the military jet carrying the president had already left Turkey.
I need you guys to understand something.
Confirmed.
Why would Iran do this? Does Iran want revenge? Do they say death to America all the time? Absolutely. Do they actually have placards up with crosshairs on Donald?
What did you say, Bjorny? Oh, yeah? Bjorn. I love you, Bjorn.
I love you, Daddy.
Oh, thank you, Bjorny. Thank you so much.
Mommy's at work.
That's right. Mommy is at work. Work, work, work. What's the opposite of home? The opposite of home is work. Work, work, work.
The mommy is work.
That's right. The mommy is at work. And the Bjorn is at school.
And the Bjorn
That's right. What did you say, my chunky little monkey? Yeah, what's the opposite of home?
The opposite of is work.
That's right. The opposite of home is work. Work, work, work.
The mommy is work.
The mommy is at work. Work, work, work. No, not home. The mommy is not at home. The mommy is at work. The mommy is working.
The puppy is working.
That's right. Great job, Yoni.
He made it school.
What did you say, Bjorn?
Open the door.
In a second, Bjorny. We're going to do a little bit more work for the audience first.
Trump's face, certainly. What do we know about Iran, the Iranian leadership, including the hardliners? What do we know about how they operate? We know that they are very strategic, right? They've, I think, more than proven that they are capable of behaving in a way that is unbelievably restrained, regardless of how much vengeance drives them, how much vengeance motivates them. Because it's clear, like, our actions in Iran, through perfidy twice, not once, but twice, especially the second time with the assassination, the decapitation of the entire leadership, both in the IRGC and the Ayatollah, the supreme leader. This was a real blow. This was a real moral wound, especially the Manab school. The Manab school strikes really changed the dynamic of this conflict, I believe. So yes, they are absolutely invested in revenge. Make no mistake. I will, however, say this. I think they're very strategic, and they have shown time and time again that they are very restrained. So it makes zero sense for the Iranians right now, when they have maximum leverage, over not only the Strait of Hormuz, but maximum leverage over the Bab el-Mandeb Strait by way of the Ansar Allah movement in Yemen, when they have maximum leverage over dictating the pacing of the conflict, unlike ever before, as they can open up new lines of attack towards American installations in Jordan, where they could technically start lobbing missiles at Israel once again if they chose to do so, at a time when the American stockpiles have diminished. Iran has maximum leverage that they're not...
See, this is the bullshit I'm talking about. He's still talking about what America, what Iran, what I don't give a fuck who, what some people can and can't do. I do not care what people can and can't do. I want to know what you think people should and shouldn't do. Got it?
Even deploying right now, they're just maintaining it. There is no reason for them to try and assassinate Donald Trump. There's no reason for them to actually even successfully assassinate Donald Trump, because the reality of the matter is this would probably cause Iran to get nuked. And they don't want to get nuked, right? This has never happened before. Never happened before. There's never been a moment where, well, I guess you could say JFK, but we don't know who did it, right? There's never been an instance where, like, a foreign government openly assassinates the American president. Openly being the key word. For that reason, we don't know what the American contingency plans look like. And I don't think Iran would risk that, especially because I don't think Iran would risk that right now, especially considering that they have established primacy over the Strait of Hormuz. They've crippled the entire global energy supply. They hold all the cards right now. America knows it. Americans know it. And increasingly, as days go by, more and more people are coming to terms with that reality. There's not really any investment into this wild card initiative of trying to assassinate Donald Trump. But the point I'm trying to make is this. There's nothing to gain strategically from even attempting to assassinate Donald Trump, or even assassinating successfully Donald Trump, and so much to lose in the process, right? These are the reasons why I don't believe that this assassination attempt was a real valid concern, and more so one that was elevated by the Israeli intelligence, as they've also openly admitted, to possibly manipulate Donald Trump into viewing
See, it's getting super sinister and evil, but the shit he's saying is still technically about what people can and can't do, and not what they should and shouldn't do. Although he is implying that you should not believe that that it was a credible threat. But even though he's saying you should not believe it was a credible threat, the thing he's saying that about is just a simple fact that's either true or false. So we're still talking about news, what can and can't be, rather than what should or shouldn't be. Really, that's he's still talking about the news and not his opinion at a philosophical level, primarily.
Iranian side with even more scrutiny and more hatred. Having said that, let's get back to the top story that I was covering, the assassination attempt on Trump's secret flight. So here's what happened. Initially, Donald Trump's supposed to fly back from Ankara, Turkey's capital, to the United States of America on his new Air Force One jet that he got from Qatar. But this new Air Force One jet from Qatar, of course, it had to be retrofitted. It had to get all of the bells and whistles that are necessary for Air Force One. That development process requires a tremendous amount of work and a tremendous amount of time. And of course, Donald Trump wanted the Qatari jet immediately. It's a massive jet. It's much larger than the regular Air Force One, right? And of course, Boeing did not have enough time to equip the Qatari Air Force One with all of the bells and whistles, the anti-air defense systems, things of that nature. So it was not sufficiently, like, it basically is the Air Force that he wants to use, but unfortunately it doesn't have all the bells and whistles, all the tools that would make it up to standard, that would fit the standard of Air Force One. So it's a less secure civilian aircraft. So Donald Trump decides he's not going to use the Qatari jet. This is what we know initially. What we know is Trump decides to send the Qatari Air Force One to the British Royal Air Force Base, and he is planning on flying back from Ankara to the British Royal Air Force Base in the old Air Force One. So initially, reporters actually find that odd, right? Reporters are like, New York Times reporters actually cover the story. They talk about how Trump is actually swapping out the Qatari Air Force One for the older version that's more secure. And Trump actually sends subpoenas to those New York Times reporters. There's obviously a code of conduct with the White House press pool. For those of you who don't know, the White House press pool follows Trump everywhere. They are the civilian observers, the civilian witnesses of everything that the president is doing. So there have been plenty of instances where the White House press pool that accompanies the president everywhere sign, an ode to secrecy, or there will be an embargo on certain kinds of information around Trump's travel or the president's travel, and then they'll reveal it afterwards once the travel is over, because obviously there's a national security concern. This has happened with Joe Biden when he went to Ukraine and they were on that train going into Kyiv, and obviously the White House press pool accompanied him on that journey, and they didn't reveal some of the details of that journey in an effort to maintain a level of security, right? There's a security protocol around it. So in the past, like, the White House press pool has, of course, always abided by this standard of security. And what's interesting here is there is something that is unprecedented with what Donald Trump did. So we're going to get into that now. So basically what happens is Trump gets on the plane with the White House press pool, with all of his aides, and with, all these other people. He gets on the older Air Force One jet, and for all intents and purposes, people on the flight, including the White House press pool, think that Donald Trump is on that plane. Donald Trump then, of course, as we knew it at the time, flies on that plane, and the White House lands in the Royal Air Force Base in England, and then gets out of that plane alongside after the White House press pool leaves the plane. He gets off the plane. He publicly gets on Qatari Air Force One and then flies back to the United States of America. So that's what we knew. Now, the one element that was strange in that process, there he is. Here's the video of him literally boarding the plane. They make a big show of it, right? But The one thing that was strange about this process, that the White House demanded that everyone on board this flight lower their window shades. The only other time, according to Maggie Haberman, the only other time that they've made this demand is when they were flying into Iraq. And it's understandable to do that in, for operational security. I assume that these, when you're going into conflict zones, Air Force One is probably trying to land in the dark, so they have to close their shades. It's for OPSEC, right? It makes sense. You don't want any lights from inside of the plane to be caught on optics. It makes sense. So that was interesting that they demand to lower the window shades. It's in broad daylight. It's not dark, right? So they follow along. Later, we find out that Donald Trump wasn't on this plane at all. He got on the plane publicly, right, at the Esenboğa airport in Ankara, in Turkey, and the plane is on the tarmac, door closes. There's an airport catering truck on the side of the plane. The media boards the plane as the airport catering truck pulls away. There's the staircase to the C-32A that's on the other side of the tarmac. And as the media is boarding this plane, thinking that Donald Trump is on the plane, it turns out Donald Trump was actually inside of this airport catering truck. So what ended up happening is Donald Trump secretly got on the plane and then through the delivery mechanism got in to the airport catering truck. Now we found out about all of this recently. The airport catering truck pulls in to the rear of the C-32A, which is the other plane, and Donald Trump gets on the other plane, leaving the White House press pool and numerous staffers on board Air Force One as bait. Straight up, like, with the assumption that this is a valid assassination attempt, Donald Trump basically sent the entire White House press pool. If this was a real assassination attempt on the president's life, Donald Trump basically said, you, sayonara, see you later, and got on a separate plane. This is objectively hilarious. I cannot deny it. I think it's also extra funny because he delivered this interview on the plane that day where he was talking about assassination attempts against him, right? This is when he was coming into Ankara.
Against Air Force One. I have a threat all the time. I'm number one on their list before you.
Oh my God. That was really interesting. He still hasn't stated any political opinions yet, but he said something interesting, at least. And it's killing me that I like it. That I like so much how interesting that it is. And I'm suddenly understanding the appeal of this groveling worm, the way people also enjoy listening to Nick Fuentes, although he's like it's like comparing a candle to the sun to compare Hassan Piker to Nick Fuentes, but they're both groveling worms that have stupid ideas. Anyway, what did you say, Bjorny? What did you say, my love? Okay then. Where was I?
Later, and got on a...
Oh yeah, he said something really, really interesting, didn't he? He said, that's hilarious. I can't even deny it. This is very revealing if you understand human nature and stuff, because what he's saying, you know, it's hilarious is one thing. That doesn't tell you much. But I can't even deny that it's hilarious. The follow-up reveals so much. He can't even deny that it's hilarious, which means that the reason that he's laughing is because my read of it is that the reason he's laughing is because he actually agrees with what Trump did in response to a credible threat. With the whole switcheroo with the plane and the sacrificing the press corps and blah, blah, blah. He's like, yeah, I would totally do that too. Which makes me think that perhaps Hassan Piker and Donald Trump secretly agree with me that America should be a monarchy, not a democracy.
Just
To be fair to Donald Trump, in his case, I don't think that's much of a secret.
Separate plane. This is objectively hilarious. I cannot deny it. I think it's also extra funny because he delivered this interview on the plane that day where he was talking about assassination attempts against him, right? This is when he was coming into Ankara.
Against Air Force One. I have read all the time. I'm number one on their list before you. But if I go, you go, right?
But was there a specific
so perhaps someday you want to change professions. What do you have, Daniel?
He says, if I go, you go. So perhaps you maybe one day want to change professions. That is hilarious. For your information, Walt Nauta was the security IT guy who helped Trump shuffle the classified docs between his properties and hide them. Yeah. It's his cadre of loyalists, his peak loyalists that he brought on to the second flight. New York Times has delivered like 10 email headlines about this to my inbox as though it's the biggest story right now and I can't get over how much they're freaking out about it. Am I crazy or this is just a weird thing but otherwise not that big of a deal since nothing actually happened? Yeah, no, it's not that big of a deal, but I think it gives you insight into Trump's fascinating mind. And that's exactly the kind of story that New York Times loves, especially.
It's much more fascinating that Hassan is fascinated by it. It goes to what I was saying a moment ago.
Considering that their journalists were directly put in danger through this process, and that's also the other reason why they're going to talk about it nonstop. Trump to Marco Rubio before getting on a food cart to head to a separate plane in Turkey.
Oh, they expect one of us in the wreckage, brother.
Trump left Marco Rubio and top aides on Air Force One as he secretly fled the Iranian threat. It's also exactly the type of story that's perfect to needle Trump with over and over again because you can like present this as Trump being a pussy, right? I think the Trump loyalists will look at this and go, nope, that's my president. Who cares? Who cares if his top aides die? We have to protect the president. Look how cool this story is. It's espionage. But I think New York Times and like these liberal institutions can keep needling him over and over again by calling him a pussy. And this is exactly the type.
Oh, all right. We got there in the end. Thank fucking God, because this video is already like 80% over. I was afraid he would literally say nothing. But he did get there in the end. Thank God he's not that incompetent. Okay, so even though he is disgusting and evil, as I said, a groveling worm through and through, but he finally did express a political point of view. And that's our opportunity to judge it. So what he's saying in this moment is that you should lie to your political opponents and people in general in order to advance your political beliefs. You should lie as much as possible, as long as it's effective. As long as it's a value add, you should do as much lying. You should do enough lying that you max out the value add, and that if you told a single additional lie, then it would be diminishing returns. That's Hassan Piker's view of lying in politics. You should do it to the maximum extent that doesn't trigger the diminishing returns. And that's obviously disgusting and evil. But the salient question here in the judgment process is it liberal or conservative? So let's analyze. I think that it strikes me that it's probably a liberal thing, which is to say a right-wing thing. because Bjorny, what's wrong? Daddy will get the chips for Bjorny. Bjorn, here, chip. What's wrong? What's wrong, Bjorn? Does Bjorn want to get the chips? Here.
Yeah.
Okay. So, believing in maximal political lying, or maximal lying for political gain, for the purpose of political gain, strikes me as being right-wing, which is to say, it strikes me as being liberal in ideology. Because it feels more yes I can-y to me than no you can't-y. Like, yes I can lie to you if I want to, if it's useful to me. Yes I can use that tool in my tool belt. Yes I should use it even. But certainly yes I can. It's just happens to be an evil thing, but that's, you know, that's why there's a very, very loose correlation between morality and conservatism and liberalism. Whether a view is conservative or liberal tells you nearly nothing about whether it's a good or bad moral stance. Not nothing, but almost nothing. In a void, liberalism is superior to conservatism, which is to say the right is superior to the left. You may have your feelings and your opinions now at this moment in time. Write them in the comment section. And tweet me at moralslaver, and I'll tweet you back and destroy whatever counter arguments you have. Or I'll learn something from you, one way or the other.
The thing that Trump hates. So I think that's the other reason why they're doing this.
I forgot I was done with the song. Alright. I said I would do Crowder. So we'll pull his ass up, and then we'll go and then take our precious little Bjorny into school. Crowder. No, wow, okay, no, I didn't know there was a famous person just called Crowder, okay. Steven Crowder. Videos from 16 hours ago. She was funding the KKK. SPLC CFO arrested. Crowder is so much better at making content than these jokers. He's gonna give me some shit like
We've got a hate problem larger than we've ever had.
All right, come on, Bjorny. Are you my chimpy little chumpy pumpy? I love you, Bjorn. It's time to go into school. Yeah. Here. Last sip of juice, then no more juice. Oh, great job, Bjorn.
Open the door.
Yes, hold on. I have to wipe your face. Uh-oh. Do we have something to wipe your face with? Hold on.
Spiders are everywhere. Spiders are everywhere, Daddy. Spiders are everywhere, Daddy.
Oh, really, Bjorny?
Spiders are everywhere.
The spiders are everywhere?
Daddy.
Yes, Bjorny. I love you. Hold on, Bjorny. Hold on. your arms through.
My arms? Oh, yes.
Take Daddy's hand.
Oh.
Yeah. Here we go. We're going to school.
We're going to school.
All right. for the audience watching, if you didn't just skip through the dead zone to where I reappear on camera, sucks to suck. In any case, we shall continue right where we left off. Yes, we're going to get some instant servings from Crowder, I imagine. Can't fucking wait. Let's go.
Launched a program to try to get the... We've got a hate problem larger than we've ever had. We launched a program to try to get the foundation world to stop giving money to hate groups.
Over 4 million of the tax-exempt donations given to the SPLC were funneled to hate groups for hosting and promoting hate rallies, for actually buying robes, hoods, and crosses to burn for the KKK. If this lady from the SPLC, like if you were stranded with her in the Andes, because that's where I see a lot of the cannibalism, you would all be eaten immediately. Like, she wouldn't ration you.
No, dude, in the Andes...
She wouldn't ration you.
You're going to see... Folks, you're going to see her in a second. In the Andes, no chance she's going to get to the top of the mountain.
Well, no chance she's not getting top, but that's the whole point. The plane goes... before it just goes, I give up.
Yeah, but then the plane crashes, and I walk 10 feet up.
Yeah. Well, okay, assuming that you can't walk... assuming you're stuck to your seatbelt. The point is, this lady, if she was a cannibal, none of you would exist. You would cease to exist. You'll understand what I'm getting to in a second. So remember the SPLC, right? They were charged earlier. We talked about this. I don't know, was it a month ago? A little more than a month ago?
Yeah.
Southern Poverty Law Center. It's very important for me to set this up, too, because I know some people are new and may not be aware. This was the center that was largely used to determine hate groups, the largest threat as far